Good, happy Sunday evening, October 25th, 2020. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Sunday evening edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Sunday evening, so let's begin. First up, we begin with your COVID-19 updates. 92 new cases of COVID-19 reported in New Hampshire, more than 1,000 active cases, one new hospitalization reported. 92 new positive cases of COVID-19 were confirmed in New Hampshire, health officials said Sunday. Officials said since the start of the pandemic, there have been a total of 10,328 cases of COVID-19 diagnosis, with 7% of those having been hospitalizations in New Hampshire. There have now been 437 deaths attributed to COVID-19 in New Hampshire and 8,823 recoveries, with 1,032 current active cases. 12 of the new cases were people under the age of 18, officials said. One more person has been hospitalized with COVID-19. Officials said there have been 766 people hospitalized in New Hampshire for COVID-19 since the beginning of the pandemic, while 23 people are currently hospitalized. Coronavirus in New Hampshire, important information and latest graphs. Let's take a look at that right now. And here is a look at that for all of you right now. There are 10,328 number of people in New Hampshire have tested positive for COVID-19. 8,626,537 number of people in the United States who have tested positive. 437 number of deaths from COVID-19 in New Hampshire. 766 number of people have been hospitalized with COVID-19 in New Hampshire. And 197 number of deaths from COVID-19 in the United States. Let's take a look at this map of New Hampshire where current cases of COVID-19 are. In Manchester, 126. And let's take a look at this map of New Hampshire where total cases of COVID-19 are. Manchester, 2361. And now let's take a look at this chart here. Let's start with the first chart here. New cases each day in New Hampshire in the purple. Daily new positive COVID-19 cases. In the orange, new hospitalization. And in the red, deaths. And let's take a look at this chart here. Current cases in the purple. Total current COVID-19 cases. And in the orange, current hospitalization. Let's take a look at this chart here. Total positive COVID-19 cases in the purple. Total hospitalizations in the orange. Red, deaths in blue. Recovered. And now let's take a look at this chart here. Positive PCR test rate and daily PCR test. Let's take a look at this chart here. Age group of cases, female and male of cases, and risk information. Let's take a look at this chart here. Infections, hospitalizations, and deaths. And let's take a look at this chart here. Deaths, percent of New Hampshire population, race/ethnicity of cases, and hospitalizations. And a reminder of your common symptoms: fever, lack of smell, cough, chills, difficult breathing, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. How it spreads, and prevention tips. And be sure to stay with the Riley King Network for the latest of your COVID-19 information. Trump holds rally in New Hampshire. President Donald Trump held a campaign rally in New Hampshire on Sunday, one day after voting early in Florida. Trump spoke for more than an hour to an enthusiastic crowd outside Manchester Boston Regional Airport. 26-year-old killed in Wilmot crash, state police say. Take a look at this photo right here. This is a photo of the car in the crash. driver was killed in a crash in Wilmont, state police say. A 26-year-old man died when his car rolled over and struck a utility pole on Route 11 in Wilmont early Sunday morning, state police said. Troopers were called to the area of 252 Route 11 just before 4:30 a.m., state police said in a press release. They found a Honda Fit driven by Jacob Reed of Andover left the road, hit a sewer cover, and rolled over before striking the pole. Reed was pronounced dead at the scene. There were no passengers in the car, and no other vehicles were involved. State police said speed was likely a factor, but the crash remains under investigation. Fire set inside ballot box outside Boston Public Library, Secretary of State says. Let's take a listen to that video from WCVB Boston.
Fire was first discovered by Boston Fire Department around 4 o'clock this morning. Secretary Galvin telling me this afternoon this was a criminal act, it was deliberate, and as you mentioned, the FBI is now involved. Firefighters were at first unable to determine if the fire itself was burning inside the ballot box, but they did eventually extinguish it. The box had been at least emptied The box had last been emptied at 2:30 in the afternoon on Saturday. According to an inventory by the Elections Department, there were 122 ballots inside the drop box, 87 of which were able to be salvaged and processed. Others were damaged but were able to be read. They do believe, however, 5 to 10 were destroyed completely. Anyone who used the drop box after 2:30 yesterday, Saturday, is urged to track their ballot at Track My Ballot MA to confirm receipt. If you are unable to do that, if you cannot find your confirmation, contact the Election Department immediately.
My immediate concern is to notify every city and town clerk in Massachusetts. I sent out an urgent directive this afternoon to secure ballot drop boxes, if at all possible, have them inside of municipal facilities. If necessary, as we go down the stretch in this election and they need to have police officers there, that's what they need to do. We'll deal with the compensation issues later.
Secretary Galvin went on to say he does appear this is a sophisticated incendiary device. He says the damage to the interior plastic lining was severe. That's why they believe that this wasn't just a cigarette of any kind. Galvin tells me he had expressed concern earlier about these ballot boxes being outside Boston libraries in particular because they remain closed. He was assured everything would be okay. We're live in Boston. Julie Lonchek, WCVB News Center 5.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. More Maine businesses, schools install air purification system due to pandemic. Let's take a listen to that video from the Riley King Network.
More Maine businesses, schools install air purification systems due to pandemic. Take a look at this one right here. More Maine businesses and schools are opting to install air purification systems due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The owner of Angelina's restaurant in Agunquit hoped the new system he installed in all 4 dining rooms will draw customers back inside. What it does, it actually cleans the air of bacteria viruses mold as it's filtering in, sucking in and pushing the air out. It's cleaning the air, owner David Guthrow said. He said he wants to do everything to keep his business going and keep his employees and customers safe. I've been in this location for 16 years now, and I'm certainly not going to let COVID take us down, or my employees, which are my family, down, Guthrow said. The Yarmouth School Department spent $80,000 in coronavirus relief funds to have air purification systems installed in schools. The ionization system, it actually shoots ions into our ventilation system fines with particles that shouldn't be there, drags them down into our filters so that the air is cleaner, Superintendent Andrew Doloff said. The owner of one company that installs these systems said there is a waiting list due to the demand. That does it for this news report right here on the Riley King Network. I'm Riley King, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.
Okay, and there you go on that report. And, I hear we are receiving, hold on, I believe we're receiving some breaking news if we, can get it to you. We are following breaking news in Maine right now. Cumberland, Maine Police Department asked for help finding a missing 13-year-old boy. This boy in Maine is missing. If you know where he is, please call the Cumberland, Maine Police Department. NYPD officer accused of blasting Trump 2020 from patrol car suspended without pay. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC7 and why.
Begin this evening with that breaking news: swift condemnation and ramifications after an NYPD officer was heard on video saying Trump 2020 over a patrol vehicle's loudspeaker.
The NYPD suspended that officer. Eyewitness News reporter Naveen Dhaliwal is in Flatbush, Brooklyn with the breaking details. Naveen?
Yeah, Joe, police said they were going to move swiftly on this, and it appears they have. Now, this all happened after cell phone video started circulating on social media showing a police officer using his speaker on his police cruiser and endorsing Donald Trump.
Trump 2020. Put it on YouTube, put it on Facebook. Trump 2020. Take a picture, take a video. Put it on your Facebook, put it on your YouTube. Have some fun.
You clearly hear that officer say Trump 2020 using his radio system in his police cruiser. Then that officer appears to encourage the person who is taking the cell phone video to post it on YouTube and Facebook. Mayor Bill de Blasio responding quickly on Twitter saying, "Let me be clear. Any NYPD officer pushing any political agenda while on duty will face consequences. We will act fast here, and this will not be tolerated." Commissioner Dermot Shea also taking to social media and siding with the mayor, saying 100% unacceptable, period. Law enforcement must remain apolitical. It is essential in our role to serve all New Yorkers regardless of their political beliefs. It is essential for New Yorkers to trust their police. Residents who heard that announcement coming from the corner of Cook Avenue and St. Paul's Place, taken aback.
I think that's extremely dangerous for society to have a heavily armed government employee telling people who to vote for. And I think that's a serious line that this individual crossed.
I didn't even believe that. I was like, surely they wouldn't do that, because it's just so obviously, like, wrong. You're not supposed to present your political views, especially when you're on the job.
And just a short time ago, the Sergeant Benevolent Association tweeting this: the NYPD has a history of officers making political and outside the norm statements and ignoring it. Suspending this officer is unnecessary and way over the top. Again, the NYPD's decision right now is to suspend that officer as this investigation continues. We're live in Flatbush, Brooklyn tonight. Naveen Dhaliwal, Channel 7.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Two men in custody following overnight shooting in Raleigh that left 3 injured and 1 dead. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC 11 in North Carolina, Raleigh.
From Mark Spain Real Estate, you can receive an all-cash offer and close in as little as 21 days. No showings, no open houses, no stress. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer today.
Now to breaking news in Raleigh. 4 men shot overnight on Trawick Road near New Bern Avenue. Authorities say it happened just after 2 this morning. All 4 men now at the hospital. We're working to find their condition. Anyone with information about the shooting is asked to call Crime Stoppers. 706.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Man accused of raping a child arrested in Martin County. Let's take a listen to that video from WPBF 25 News, Florida.
Real Bodies allows visitors to get a closer look of what is actually inside of you. You'll not only have the opportunity to see these amazing preserved specimens, but also look at the historical, cultural, and emotional aspects behind who we are as human beings. It is a powerful exploration of the human body.
31-year-old minor Geronimo Velasquez is here at the Martin County Jail, charged with 2 counts of rape, but he could face additional charges as part of this investigation. U.S. Marshals had received information that there was a missing 8-year-old girl out of Tennessee in Martin County, and when they located that girl in Stewart on Wednesday, she was with Velasquez. Deputies and U.S. Marshals arrested Velasquez, and the 8-year-old girl is now with social services. Velasquez was also wanted for 2 counts of rape of a child under 13 years old, which he later confessed to while in jail. That victim is currently safe in Tennessee. Martin County Sheriff William Snyder shared his reaction following the arrest and confession.
We just never know who's in our community. So although we have a good handle on our local offenders, we never know who our visitors are. So I think that the moral to this story is that as parents, we all need to be very careful with our children, know their whereabouts, and be certain that wherever they are, they're being properly supervised.
He is going to be extradited to Tennessee at some point. Velasquez is undocumented, so investigators say he'll be in the custody of ICE after he serves time in Tennessee. Reporting in Martin County, Steve King, WPBF 25 News.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Voting early in Maryland? Here's what you need to know. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC 7 WJLA.
This week, in-person early voting will be open for everyone in the DMV. Marylanders will have their chance starting tomorrow. A 7 on your side has what you need to know before you head out to the polls. ABC 7's Justin Hinton is live at Wayne K. Curry Sports and Learning Center. And Justin, that's one of the early voting centers in Prince George's County right now.
Yeah, that's right, Carl. It's one of 11 voting centers that will open. And I can tell you, these election workers have been extremely busy getting ready for tomorrow. Tonight, 7 is on your side. with what some of that preparation looks like and what voters need to know to get in and get out as quickly and as safely as possible. As Prince Georgians continue dropping off their mail-in ballots, those who haven't requested one will have their chance to vote in person starting Monday.
A lot of Prince Georgians like early voting, so they do come out.
Deputy Elections Administrator Deneen Banks says she expects the turnout, and if it's anything like what we've seen in Fairfax County, there could be long lines, though larger voting venues may reduce the wait time.
Bring your sample ballot and know what you're gonna do.
She says that will help to keep the line moving.
If you are not able to stand in line for a long period of time, we will have individuals working the lines to accommodate people for a chair in some instances.
She also showed us the type of PPE already delivered to the early voting locations. And as for those blue cabinets, they hold some 245 ballot styles. Roughly 4 or 5 of them will be at each location.
We just want to make sure that everyone's coming, practicing social distancing, and being patient as we move them through the lines.
Also, don't forget those masks. Now, we're told the least busiest times are between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m., as well as on Saturdays and Sundays. The polls open at 7 a.m. and they close at 8 p.m. daily. Reporting live in Prince George's County, Justin Hinton, ABC 7 News.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Sheriff's deputy hospitalized after assault during a traffic stop in South LA. Authorities say suspect in custody. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC 7 News.
The expertise that helps keep hospitals clean is helping keep businesses clean too. Look for the Ecolab Science Certified seal.
John, we've had updates all morning from the Sheriff's Department, and we can tell you that paramedics brought that Sheriff's deputy right here to Harbor UCLA Medical Center. We can tell you this morning that she is going to be okay, and that deputy does not have life-threatening injuries. This incident took place in South LA overnight. The LA County Sheriff's Department says a female deputy pulled a suspect over when the suspect assaulted her near 97th and Vermont. The suspect took off near Florence and Western. Sheriff's deputies did eventually arrest the suspect. We're still waiting for some details to be confirmed. We're not sure how the deputy was assaulted, but again, the deputy involved is expected to be okay and was brought here to Harbor UCLA Medical Center overnight.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this evening edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. Thank you for watching this evening edition. Have a great rest of your evening. I'll see you back here tomorrow for another newscast. I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Good night and goodbye, everyone.